A few weeks ago, I announced a $1 million package of services aimed at preventing and interrupting gang violence here in Bathgate and elsewhere in the 48th precinct. But I recognize that interrupting and preventing gang violence is only part of what we must do. We must also commemorate the life and legacy of Lisandro Junior Guzman-felix, whose life was tragically cut short by the most senseless and savage act of gang violence that our city has seen in recent memory. The legacy that Junior leaves behind, summed up in the hashtag Justice for Junior, has been an awakening for all of us. It has become a national rallying cry against youth violence and gang violence in our streets. The images of Junior's death have become to our time what the images of Emmett Till was to his own time. These images have made us more aware, more awakened to the sheer horror of gang violence in our midst, on our streets. See, gang violence has long plagued our neighborhood, especially the poorest parts of the city. But violence has largely gone unseen by most New Yorkers until the tragic death of Junior Guzman. Junior has awakened all of us. He has confronted us with a crisis that we cannot afford to ignore. And so in light of the legacy that he has left behind, as the local council member, I have directed the staff in the New York City Council to begin the process of renaming 183rd and Bathgate in honor of Junior Guzman. Not only will the memory be enshrined in our hearts and minds, but his name will become a visible symbol on the streets of Bathgate. His is a name that will never be forgotten. His is a death that will never be in vain. Hoy estamos aquí para anunciar que esta calle va a ser nombrada en honor a Junior Guzman. La esquina está en la 183 y Bathgate Avenida. Yo doy mi sincero pésame a la familia Guzman-felix y agradezco que estén aquí hoy día. The next person whom I will invite to speak is one of the most courageous people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting as a council member. There's nothing worse than the loss of a child, especially at the hands of gang violence. What happened to Junior is a mother's worst nightmare. But I have been amazed, inspired by the courage and the resilience and the leadership in the face of unthinkable trauma and tragedy that has been demonstrated by Leandra, who is an inspiration to me and to many others. And so I want to invite you to say your thoughts.
Hi, good morning everyone, and God bless everyone. I'm really very happy with this honor for my son. I want to say thank you so much to Richie Torres to take that way in that honor for my son and everyone. And I'd like to do something like stop the violence, help people. That situation not happen again, never ever. I lost my son. I won't gonna have him back anymore. I miss him a lot, but I want to see the justice for my son after this honor. Thank you so much for the honor, but I want more. I want the justice for my son. I don't know what else to say. I cannot explain properly. Thank you so much.
So again, the name of Junior Guzman, which will be displayed here forever, should make us more committed than ever before to interrupting the kind of violence that leads to the loss of our youth and the loss of our innocence. Right? That's the lesson learned from this tragedy. That's how we harness the power of Junior's legacy to make our community safer. So with that said, we'll take whatever questions you might have.
How long do you think it'll take to get
So we're beginning the process. We vote on street renamings twice a year, once mid-year and once toward the end of the year. So I predict that the street renaming, the ceremony, and the actual unveiling will be held early next year, January. I mean, even though the circumstances of Junior's death are tragic, I think we should recognize that what has been inspiring is the outpouring of support for Leandra and from the community. Right? Thousands of people have raised funds, thousands of people have signed petitions. You've even had celebrities like Cardi B weigh in. And so it's a reminder that there's more good than evil in the world. There's more lightness than darkness in the world. And that's something that should never be forget, even in the depths of tragedy. And so that's what Junior represents to me, and he represents our obligation to do everything we can to confront gang violence at its core, because it's making all of us sick. It's traumatizing all of us.
when a young person looks up?
Actually, do you want to share your thoughts on what?
I was asking you about what is positive about the street naming and that your sons need to live on in a very positive way. Why is that important to you?
Maybe they're gonna keep the memory of my son alive, and the people won't gonna forget the tragedy, how my son was brutally killed in this street and nobody hurt him at all. The people need to have more love in the heart and do something better. They could do it, but nobody did nothing. Thank you.
Leandra, if you don't mind me asking, since your son's death, have you noticed any change in the community in terms of, I guess, safety or just generally?
I see all the support and all the people, like now, doing media, and everybody know about it, but probably it's gonna make a difference.
Have you seen any difference yet?
Yes, like now, see? We're gonna push the difference to start that.
So do you think, do you think that crime has gotten better or people are more aware of? Do you think that crime situation has gotten better or the situation with violence in this neighborhood has gotten better since your son's passing?
This is something that I've been having forever. Everybody's been working. We have to continue to work more and make a difference. Getting new laws to stop the violence.
And then also, I know this has been so difficult for you, but we just wanted to ask, do you know whether your son knew any of the people involved in his death?
No, sweetheart. I don't know.
Yeah. So your
No
son
one.
didn't either? Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much.
You work.
What about the example that he set, you being involved in the Explorers program, being involved in an organization that was positive and not a gang, that's an organization that is involved.
Look, when you grow up in the Bronx, you're surrounded by temptations and entanglements. And he made a decision to live his life the right way. And he was a member of the Explorers, and he had dreams of becoming an officer. But Junior has changed the world. He's had a far greater impact than any of us could have possibly imagined. And the trouble is, when you live in the Bronx, we are constantly hearing stories of shootings and violence, and you become desensitized. But what happened to Junior was so shocking and so tragic that it has awakened us. And we've come to realize that's not something that we can become desensitized to. We can't accept this as a new normal. We have to stand up rather than stand by.
You obviously encouraged your son to join the Image Explorers program. What do you say to families with young men in their lives to join something like that rather than a student?
Well, I don't know what to say because all the kids are different. I would like the best for all the kids, but we have to work with them. We have to do something to make a difference starting from the school, because it's coming from the school. You know, inside the school they have to start teaching something different.
And how did you inspire your son to become a member of the Explorers?
He willing to be a police. That was his dream. Since he was 5 years old, that was what he wanted to be when he grew up. He loved it. He took the decision by himself. He wanted to go to the program. And we was asking all the time, everybody in the neighborhood, Carlitos, is my Carlitos? And then we was asking, trying, and then he finds his costume. And then he and his costume went together with the father of his costume. He know police and the precinct 45, and they sign up the paper over there, and they came to my house, and I say, okay, I'm agree, and I sign all the papers.
So he really wanted to do it himself. He was very motivated.
He was very motivated, yes, he was.
No, I just wanted to say that he was a good kid, and he was always coming to me for me to take him to the precinct. But I was always wind up doing some type of community service work. And like she says, he took it on his own. That's the motivation that he had to become a police officer. And this is what he did. He went on his own and did what he had to do. And I just want to say I have to give a lot of love because I lost a son the same way. And I know what she's going through. I know what she's feeling. That's why I was by her side from day one, from the very beginning, because it's not easy losing a son. And she's been upright because I know God is with her. Because we've been praying for her. The whole community has been praying for her. And I just wanted to tell everybody that's here, we still got to keep our communities in prayer because what these communities need and we're short in is God. And we need God in these communities.
Yes.
Okay? And I just want to, Reverend Byers.
First name?
Oh, Carlos. Yes. And I just want to thank Richie Torres for doing everything that he's done. Bless him because I always tell him I love him. Because whenever we need something in this community, the first person people reach out to is Richie Torres' office. And he's not just here for this because he does so much for these communities, especially here, that I'm trying to find out how he finds the time to have a social life. Because it's hard, because everybody's always in his office and he's always doing something magnificent for this community. And I want people, I have to give him his props. You know how they give us awards? I'm trying to find an award we can give our officials, but I have no idea what to give them. But love and pray for him and help him that God gives him another day of life.
God bless you.
And God